Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say Hope Logan and Carter Walton will have to face the music next week on the CBS soap. Now that Brooke Logan exposed their big takeover, there will be repercussions. Hope can be redeemed, but will Carter be blacklisted from Los Angeles after the dust settles? Here's what's coming up next on Bold and Beautiful, spoilers ahead. Hope Logan's mental health has been deteriorating on B&B for nearly a year. Even Dr. Finn and Dr. Taylor Hayes have commented on the fact that Hope needs help. Rumor has it there could be an intervention coming soon for Brooke's daughter. In the past year on The Bold and the Beautiful, Hope cheated on her husband, romanced her former stalker Thomas Forrester, Matthew Atkinson, kissed Steffy's husband, and then hooked up with Carter and tried to steal Forrester creations. She has left a trail of bad decisions and strange behavior, and it won't be hard to prove she wasn't in her right mind after Steffy Forrester, Jacqueline McKinswood, Wood, fired her. Rumor has it the B&B writers have a big mental health storyline lined up for Hope Logan, and her shenanigans with Carter Walton could land her in a mental hospital if she isn't careful. Regardless, Hope's illness will get her out of the big Forrester Creations takeover. But what is Carter Walton's excuse? Carter Walton has always been a stand-up and loyal guy on Bold and Beautiful. Viewers have often clamored for him to have more screen time on the daytime soap. They probably didn't mean as a villain, though. Carter won't have any friends left in Los Angeles when the truth comes out, and he doesn't have a get-out-of-jail-free card like Hope Logan does. Where will Carter work? It's safe to say he's done at Forrester Creations. Could his takeover even land him in prison? Are you hating the fact that the soap writers made Carter the new bad guy? The sun dipped below the Los Angeles skyline, casting long shadows across the Forrester Creations office. Inside, the tension was palpable. Hope Logan paced the room, her normally serene demeanor replaced by a frenetic energy that left her colleagues exchanging concerned glances. Her mind was racing, and every thought seemed to spiral further away from reality. Hope had always been the epitome of grace under pressure, but lately she was a woman on the edge. The collapse of her marriage to Liam Spencer had triggered a chain reaction of questionable decisions. Her affair with Thomas Forrester had not only shocked her family, but also seemed to unleash a side of her that no one had seen before. Her latest outburst had the team at Forrester Creations whispering behind closed doors. Just this morning, she'd marched into the design room, ripped apart a wedding gown prototype, and declared, "Love is dead," before storming out. Now, as she stood in Carter Walton's office, arms crossed and eyes blazing, it was clear that Hope Logan was unraveling. "Hope," Carter began cautiously, his deep voice a steadying presence. "You've been through a lot. Maybe you should take some time off." "Time off?" Hope snapped, her voice rising. "Do you think I can afford to take time off when my entire life is falling apart? When my mother is judging me, my husband has moved on, and the world thinks I'm crazy?" Carter held up his hands in a calming gesture. "No one thinks you're crazy, Hope. We're just worried about you. This isn't like you." Hope laughed bitterly, the sound echoing in the spacious office. "Not like me. Maybe this is who I've been all along. And I'm just done pretending to be perfect Hope Logan." Behind the fiery exterior, Hope was struggling with feelings she couldn't name. Her love for Thomas had been intoxicating, a forbidden escape from the predictable life she'd built with Liam. But now, the affair felt like a grenade she'd lobbed into her own life, leaving nothing but chaos in its wake. Thomas, for his part, was trying to win her back, though his methods were as questionable as ever. He'd shown up at her apartment with roses one night, only to find her sobbing on the floor, surrounded by photo albums of her and Liam. "I thought this is what you wanted," he'd said, his voice tinged with hurt. "What I wanted?" Hope had cried. "I don't even know what I want anymore." While Hope's meltdown was grabbing all the headlines, Carter Walton was quietly wrestling with his own inner turmoil. The COO of Forrester Creations was known for his calm and collected demeanor, but those closest to him had noticed a change. Carter had recently ended his engagement to Paris Buckingham, citing irreconcilable differences, though the real reason was far more complicated. His heart, it seemed, was still entangled with Quinn Fuller, even though she had left town months ago. Now, Carter found himself drifting through his days, distracted and disconnected. Even his usually impeccable work was starting to suffer. Ridge Forrester had pulled him aside last week, a rare moment of vulnerability between two stoic men. "You're not yourself, Carter," Ridge had said. "Whatever's going on, you need to figure it out before it costs you everything." Carter had nodded, but inside, he felt like a man drowning in an ocean of regret. It was only a matter of time before Hope and Carter's paths crossed in a way that neither of them could have anticipated. That moment came one fateful evening when they both found themselves alone in the Forrester Creations boardroom. Hope had been working late, trying to salvage a campaign that had gone off the rails. Carter had been reviewing contracts, though his heart wasn't in it. When he saw Hope sitting there, her head in her hands, he hesitated before stepping inside. Hope looked up, her eyes red-rimmed. "And what would you know about that, Carter? Aren't you the king of keeping it together?" Her words stung, but Carter didn't flinch. Instead, he pulled up a chair and sat down across from her. "You'd be surprised, Hope. Sometimes keeping it together is just an act." Something in his tone made Hope pause. For the first time in weeks, she felt like someone truly saw her. Not the scandalized version splashed across tabloids, but the broken woman beneath. As the night wore on, the two began to talk, their walls slowly crumbling. Hope confessed her fears about becoming like her mother, Brooke Logan, whose love life had been a series of highs and lows played out on a public stage. Carter, in turn, opened up about Quinn and the void her absence had left in his life. "I told myself I'd moved on," he admitted, "but the truth is, I haven't, and it's affecting everything. My work, my relationships, even how I see myself." Their conversation was raw, unfiltered, and unexpectedly healing. For the first time in a long time, Hope didn't feel alone in her chaos. By the time dawn broke, an idea had formed between them. Bold, impulsive, and potentially disastrous. They decided to leave Los Angeles behind, if only for a while. "We both need a reset," Carter said. "Somewhere far from the drama, where we can figure out who we are without all the noise." Hope hesitated, but the prospect of escape was too tempting to resist. "Okay," she said, a flicker of determination in her eyes. "Let's do it." When news broke that Hope Logan and Carter Walton had disappeared, it sent shockwaves through their families and the Forrester Creations team. Speculation ran rampant. Were they having an affair? Had they eloped? Or was this simply a case of two people reaching their breaking points? For Hope and Carter, the journey was less about romance and more about rediscovery. As they drove down a quiet coastal highway, the weight of their decisions began to lift. "This isn't going to fix everything," Hope said, staring out at the ocean. "No," Carter agreed, "but maybe it's a start." Whether their bold move would bring the clarity they sought or plunge them into deeper turmoil remained to be seen. One thing was certain. Hope Logan and Carter Walton were done playing by anyone else's rules. For better or worse, they were charting their own course. And in the world of the bold and the beautiful, that was the only way to survive.